What's going on, guys? Tim Odell here, owner of Vice Unlimited, back in the shop. On this week's episode, I thought I'd give you guys a little shop tour. Kind of show you what tools I have in the shop, what I use, maybe a brief description of kind of what we're working on. Thought maybe that would be something cool for you guys to see. I know I love watching shop tours, other shops doing similar work. I love seeing what tools they have and what they're doing. So I think on this week's episode I'll do that. Stay tuned and I'll get you set up and we'll take a tour. Alright guys, stay tuned. Alright, I'm back. So, I don't have a big shop, but I've been able to accumulate some equipment over the years. It's been a slow process. I didn't have like a big budget in the beginning to just go buy a bunch of tools. I've kind of acquired them as I could afford them, that sort of thing. But so, without further ado, I think we'll go for a walk here. Just kind of show you guys what I've got, what I use, maybe a brief description if I like them. I like a little bit of a review, but yeah, let's go for a walk. Got the AC running. Hopefully my audio is good. So kind of starting, there's the front door. So kind of starting over here. There's a toolbox. I've got a Lista. I use Lista boxes for my tools. They are awesome. They are super heavy duty industrial cabinets that you can hold 300 pounds in each drawer pretty easily. But anyway, got that, got the hula girl, to keep us company. So there you go. But yeah, so list of boxes, kind of my desk there. Got all these t-shirts here that I bought, I don't know, a couple of years ago. And so if you guys are interested in a Vice Unlimited t-shirt, hit me up. They're on the website for sale. Bring it up because I have them here. They're kind of in the video now, but that just to let you guys know. If you guys want some Vice Unlimited swag, support the channel, there you go. So, all right, moving on. So more list of toolboxes. These are all full of hardware of many sizes and shapes. And every drawer has a different size. A lot of this stuff is kind of fancy hardware, K-nuts, all kinds of cool stuff. But anyway, moving on. Hydraulic crimper. You got the dual bandsaw. Very, very helpful tool. I use this thing. We use this thing all the time. I went a long time without having a bandsaw. I don't know what I did without it. So they're so handy, for cutting all kinds of different materials. I've got a plasma table, which is really nice for cutting out parts, but this dual bandsaw, man, it's a lifesaver. So it sure beats having to use a cutoff wheel. I hate cutoff wheels. Throw off that nasty smell and dust and dirty, and whereas the bandsaw is so much cleaner and better to use. So anyway, moving on. Got the Fastenal bolt bins, of course. This here is my three-phase converter. So I'm taking single-phase 220 and converting it to three-phase. A lot of my big equipment is three-phase, and my shop where I'm at, I don't have three-phase power. So I built this, I don't know, a little while back, but hit the button, three-phase power. It uses a big 40 horse three-phase motor down there that basically converts and makes the third leg. But anyway, we'll turn that off for now. And then a three-phase breaker box. So it's kind of a whole separate system from the rest of the shop. So shrinker stretcher. Got the Bailey bead roller that I use a lot. Very handy tool. Highly recommend Bailey. Their stuff. Their bead roller. I also have their tubing notcher. It works really good as well. But yeah, we use that thing all the time. Got a lot of chassis on that. Moving on, box pan brake here, slip roller kind of down in behind. kind of another toolbox with mostly drill bits and sort of stuff in it. Got the jet drill press. Then you got grinders, belt grinder, belt sander, if you will. And then you got your brake, big sheet metal brake, 8-foot brake, we use quite often. And then, you know, so this is kind of like my sheet metal fab, sanding, grinding, you know, kind of the fab corner of the shop, I guess, if you want to call it that. English wheel that I built here a few years back, kind of a cool project. It's fun building tools, you know, it's fun building cars and stuff, but it's also a lot of fun to build tools. So I built this quite a few years ago, actually. Uses a big roller bearing for the upper anvil, and then I made this cool adjuster up top. So super smooth, super nice, super stiff. We'll definitely have some videos made in this corner, that's for sure. All right, let's move on. Oh yeah, Beverly shear, super cool little shear, cutting sheet metal. So anyway, talk about the welders real quick. I've got a Dynasty 200. That's kind of my go-to TIG welder. It's pretty much what I use for everything. It's water cooled, so works great for aluminum and steel. I mean, it works great for everything, basically. Never had any issues with like capacity. So while we're talking about welders, kind of told you guys a little bit about the Dynasty over here. Just kind of want to walk you over here to the other welders here. I figure welders might be interest. I know a lot of guys, that's kind of what their focus is I want to learn how to weld. I want to weld, which in my business, I mean, we do a lot of welding, but it's not all we do. I mean, we do a lot of other things other than just welding, but it definitely is a pretty important tool to a fab shop, obviously. So got the Dynasty 200. Also have this Miller Multimatic 215, which is kind of it's a pretty cool little machine. Not super heavy duty, more of a light duty kind of welder. The cool thing about it, and the reason why I bought it, is it'll run 220 or 110, and it's a MIG welder. It's basically a MIG welder, but it also will TIG. So it won't do aluminum, so it's DC only. It's not an AC welder, but it'll do MIG or TIG. Actually, right now I have it set up as a TIG welder. It's pretty handy. It's not liquid cooled, but it's great for like tacking things together, you know, and doing kind of light duty TIG welding. But anyway, I find myself using it quite often, but then it's also a great little MIG welder too. So there are times when we need 2 MIG welders going on in the shop or whatever, so it's a great little backup MIG welder. It's also a cool welder to throw in the enclosed trailer when we go somewhere, when we go out west or go do whatever. It's a handy welder for that. You can plug it into a generator or anywhere, you know, you have 110 and, you know, make a repair or whatever you got to do. And then also walk over here. Got the Miller 212, so my heavy duty MIG welder. We do, you know, I prefer TIG welding when I can, but some customers, you know, don't want to pay the extra time it takes to MIG or TIG everything, and so, you know, this MIG welder here is basically the workhorse of the shop as far as MIG welding goes. But I figured you guys probably would be, you know, maybe a little interested in what we use for welders. I'm a big Miller fan, as you can tell. I've had a few other welders in the past, but I've always just, you know, found that, you know, Miller has always, you know, treated me the best. So anyway, thought I'd add that. I was watching my video footage and I was like, man, I really didn't talk about the welders very much. So wanted to get this cut in the video. Tubing bender, of course. Moving this way, got this cool old, like these are my favorite tools here. Just because not only is it a cool tool, but it's also has a story, and you just know this machine has a life, you know. It's been around for 100 years, not 100 years, but it's been around for a long time, 50, 60 years. It's just cool. I just love these old machines. They have a personality, they have quirks, they have issues, but, you know, they do work. This press brake I saved from the scrapyard. It was on the loading dock, getting ready to be loaded up onto the back of a truck to go to the scrapyard, and a buddy of mine informed me of it, and I went and rescued it. Made some upper dies for it, and then I was able to work a deal on these lower dies. Dies, if you guys know, dies are really expensive. So You know, it's one thing to have the machine, it's a whole nother thing to have, you know, to get the tooling for it. So anyway, super cool. Definitely get that in the channel, using that thing, and it's pretty fun. But anyway, moving this way, CNC plasma table. It's ventilated outside. We use this plasma table almost daily, so handy to have. I've had this machine for probably, I don't know, 7 years now. Like, it's been, I can't believe it's been 7 years, but we use it all the time. Like I said, it is super handy, not only for cutting parts, but for cutting templates. If you have a part that's off just a little bit, you just come over here and take a 1/16 off it and cut another one. You know, it's super handy to have. So we cut aluminum, steel, stainless, you know, whatever, but it's super handy. I'm a huge plasma cam fan. Like I said, in all the years that we've had this, 7 years, I think, in the 7 years that we've had this thing, I have done nothing to it, basically, other than just replace consumables, you know, on the actual plasma cutter. I haven't had to do anything to it. It's been a workhorse. It's had its quirks from time to time, but that's mostly operator error, but super handy tool. So, all right, let's go this way, guys. So, of course, Diamond T is always sitting in the mix. More like sitting in the way, but that's okay. So over in this corner, I kind of consider this my machining area. The the blast cabinet here. Hopefully, hoping to replace this with something that's not so dusty. Kind of working on a little bit of a deal right now. Hopefully it'll come to fruition and we won't no longer have dust. So definitely we'll be bringing that new tool on the channel. Do some reviews. Do some. You know, I don't know. I'm excited to try out this new cabinet if it comes to fruition. So one of the latest tools that I've brought into the shop is this Fadal CNC Mill. 1996, I think, is the year on it. Did a lot of research on older CNC equipment, and Fadal is a brand that still has a pretty good following and a pretty good kind of support and parts and that sort of thing. And so I found this machine. Actually, a buddy of mine, he owns a machine shop. He had it for quite a few years, and it was just something that wasn't really being used anymore. And so we were able to make a deal and get it over here. So I've been messing with it, getting it figured out. Works great. So I really haven't had to do anything to it. I had to replace a couple oil lines that were broke on it, and other than that, though, it's been awesome. So I've been learning Fusion 360 and kind of figuring out how to program and design and that sort of thing. And then I bought basically a USB adapter that'll plug into the circuit board on this machine, and it allows me to be like a USB like thumb drive instead of I don't know G code. Pretty much everything that I do is on the computer on Fusion, and then just plug it in over here and load the program and cut. So it's definitely been a learning curve, but it's been cool. It's a lot of fun. It's pretty cool to watch. I don't know. It's just fun to watch a machine cut something out that you designed. You know, it's pretty sweet. So let me turn you around here and give you guys a better view of the Fadal. Cleaned everything out really good, and like I said, I had to replace a couple oil lines on it. And you know, hardest thing about any equipment is tooling. So I had to get a couple vices for it, and then get tooling and whole tooling holders and just all that. But it's been really cool. It's definitely, we'll do some cool channel. There's some videos on the channel of this thing in action. Maybe even walk through some of the processes. Here's my disorganized tooling cart. But anyway, so that's the Fadal. Moving this way around, got the parts washer, and then we got the old Monarch lathe here. Another tool we use a lot, super handy. If you don't have a lathe, it's definitely something that every fab shop should probably have. You know, with that being said, I went a long time without having one. You know, I had to borrow friends or hire a machine shop to turn things for me, but I do all kinds of stuff. I build drive shafts on here. I make adapters, bushings, thread, tap, you know, drill, bore. You know, there's just so many things you can do. It's pretty amazing once you have one how often you actually use it. So this Monarch is the second lathe that I've owned. First one, I had a big Cincinnati that sat along the wall on the other side, but it was huge. It took up a lot of space, and so I actually sold that lathe actually to a guy that's running his own power company, actually hydroelectric. So anyway, sold it to him. He's using it for that, and then took that money and bought this. Actually, took that money and bought this Monarch and the Fadal CNC. So I kind of bought and sold and traded and whatever. So, and that's kind of what I've always done, you know. I got that old Cincinnati lathe at a really good deal. Came out of Duke Power and used it for quite a few years, and I was able to sell it for a profit and use that money to dump into bigger, or not necessarily bigger, but better equipment. That's just kind of how I've always done it, you know. But pretty cool old lathes. Monarch is a pretty sought after brand. Been around for forever. Very heavy duty, very well known, kind of in the machining, machine tool world. But anyhow, let's go this way. So here's the not the power hammer, the Polmax, if you want to call it. It's a Trumpf brand. It's basically a reciprocating hammer, is what it actually kind of is, like the style of the tool. But a lot of people call them Polmaxes. Polmax is just a brand, but basically this tool allows you to put steps. I mean, you can do all kinds of things. You can punch, you can shear, you can do like metal shaping, like shrinking and stretching, or you can do like different dies. Like I just made this die set. If any of you guys follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you probably saw me cutting these out on the Fadal. And then because I'm working on this Camaro over here, and I want to do some cool sheet metal work, and so I've been, making tooling, for that, and yeah, so it's pretty cool. It's cool to be able to make a tool in the CNC mill, and then be able to, bring it over here and put it in a machine and make some cool parts. So I don't use this machine a lot, to be honest. I hope to use it more often. I've got some pretty cool, you guys may have seen trucks like that, so hopefully in the near future we'll start building a project. Obviously the Diamond T is pretty sweet, but it's done, so I love building stuff. So the plan, I'm itching to build something new, so something like up on the wall up there is I'm dying right now to get going on a new project. Alright guys, so that's basically a tour of the shop. Like I said, it's not a ginormous facility or anything, so that's basically the tools and equipment that I use, that I have, other than like hand tools and kind of normal stuff. But other than that, it's just basically just filled up with projects. Like I said, we're working on this Camaro in the background here. That's a big project that I've been working on for, I don't know, for quite a while. Kind of took a break on it for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, finishing up blazers and other things that we've been trying to get done. But I'll probably, like I said before, kind of in my kind of introduction video, I don't want to take time away from my customers. So there may be times though where I bring you along on some of these customer builds, but I want to be careful with that. I don't want to take the time. I don't want my customers to feel like I'm taking advantage of their time. But anyway, the rest of the shop is storage. I got shelves full of stuff. Probably half of it's junk. Probably just need to get rid of it. But I don't know. It's one of those things. You hate to throw something away that you could use in the future. But I do a lot of purging around here. Every so often we just chuck stuff because you don't have room to store everything. But electrical, we do everything here. So right now we're kind of wrapping up the wiring on this Land Rover and just trying to get it done. It's nothing fancy. We built some cool stuff here, and I think we've been able to acquire a pretty good selection of equipment and tools. I'm definitely looking to expand the shop in the near future. As you can see, it's pretty tight, pretty full. I know a lot of people, every shop owner, I think, is in the same boat that I'm in. That doesn't matter how much room you have, it's just never going to be enough. But like I said, I try to get everything up on a shelf, up off the floor. That way you're not tripping on it, and you can make as much floor space as possible. But But yeah, I'm excited for the future and what we got going on, and I hope you guys liked my brief kind of shop tour. And if there's anything else, I mean, if you know, comment down below. You know, comment, tell me if there's certain things you're interested in me talking about more, or if I can give you guys some advice on tools or equipment, or what I like and dislike or whatever. I've been doing this for a number of years now. You know, I think I've been able to learn some things along the way. Maybe I can save you guys from making a purchase or doing something that you regret. So maybe learn from my mistakes. That's kind of what's going on, guys. So without that, I'm gonna shut the camera off and get to work. Please, you know, if you like what I'm doing here, you know, subscribe to the channel. I know every YouTuber says it, but it really does. I mean, the more subscribers that I can get and the more followers and whatever, it's just the better chances of this channel being successful, you know. The point of this channel is not necessarily for my own benefit. It is to kind of share with you guys and kind of show you what's going on and how to do some things maybe. Or I know I watch YouTube all the time. That's basically all I watch anymore. I love hearing what other you know, men and women are doing in the industry, and then just trying to learn, just trying to pick up skills from them, you know. So it's pretty sweet. YouTube's a really cool resource, you know. But support the channel, subscribe. If you want a t-shirt, go to the website, they're there, and I'll ship you one out. I do have some limited sizes right now, but I need to place a new order. But that's what's going on, and I hope you guys like this, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.